for more auction day on Your Money.
Palm Springs in California is described as the living museum of mid-century modern architecture, and a deep love of that very thing is what drew designer James Treble to this modernist mecca on his recent travels. Let's take a look now through his trained eye at these sleek mid-century masterpieces.
Oh gosh, that's like poetry. I love when you speak like that. You did write that. Look,
I love it when
I had an amazing opportunity to take the children to Disneyland and Universal Studios on the guise of me doing a big boomerang off to Palm Springs. So Palm Springs is an hour and a half out of LA. The reason why it's there and why it survived is that all of the actors in the middle of last century, in the middle of the 1900s, had to be close to the studios to work, but they wanted to be far enough away to have their own life. What happened in Palm Springs stayed in Palm Springs.
Oh.
Right? You're also dealing with a time in the middle of the century where we've got architects that are some architects that were dealing with the modernist movement, new ways of thinking, quite forward thinking, had to flee Europe. So there was lots of things happening. We had Nazi Germany, terrible things happening. So we had Walter Gropius, we had Mies van der Rohe, and they left Europe, came to America and worked in design schools, passing on their new ways of living, of using architecture, and passed those on their teachings. And that's resulted in this architectural type, which we call mid-century modern, the middle of last century. So there's your quick rundown on it.
That was actually really nice.
So the clean lines, we're dealing with homes. You've got to remember what homes used to look like in the beginning of the 1900s. Small boxes, English background, and obviously still European. Small windows. Children couldn't see out of windows. We wanted to have a new way of embracing space, to move from inside to outside and link these spaces, big walls of glass and new technology in steel, in block plane architecture. So we've got large panels, simple lines in the roof, flat and skillion roof lines which slightly angle up, and it works perfectly in Australia because it fits all of the things we want to do. We love natural light, we love being linked with the outdoors, and we love the simplicity of architecture to flow effortlessly from inside to outside. You agree? We had a lot of this style of architecture here and breeze blocks. So the blocks with holes through them where breeze could go through supplied an ability to put beautiful texture on the front of the home, but screen for privacy. That means we could have large banks of glass and get all of that important natural light. These days we talk about saving energy, saving the basics when you're building a new home. We want the light to come in, but we don't want, hi Mrs. Jones, when you're dancing around in your house in your underwear to Madonna, as we all do.
You did.
I do. So the beautiful,
Mrs. Jones,
the breeze block walls come in so many patterns that I just was eye candy. My kids were like, how can you keep click, click, click? We were going crazy with photos. So I brought some images along that I think we should sort of have a little look at to give you the idea of these styles. So it's the perfect backdrop. We've got all the palm trees of California, which used to be owned by Mexico and then obviously became part of America in the 1800s. But it's these clean lines. So we've got clean, long lines, quite white on white, simple lines. But see those high roof lines, the windows above the roof line, flooding the internal of the homes with natural light and lots of texture. This home here's got that beautiful green front doors, that beautiful backdrop of the mountains, but all that texture with the stone, which is also found in the environment, out in this desert environment. And how's that, Sarah? That beautiful wall of breeze blocks there, adding lots of texture, but also giving you privacy for the large windows behind and those beautiful high windows above.
And colourful front doors.
Beautiful front doors.
I love a colourful door.
This roof line's called Butterfly, and you can see where that comes from. So if you can imagine inside that home, it's opening it up on either side and letting the light flood in. But this is a chalet roof style. This is A-frame, and this is very unusual that I didn't expect to see mid-century modern, but that type of architecture, I saw that exact home repeated over and over again in different colour schemes. So it was sort of the first project look, but done by architects. This shape's interesting, so that sort of A shape with the top cut off, it's quite Mayan architecture, it's that Mexican architecture, and that's why it's come through into the homes. And if you look here, these breeze blocks, we know these shape, we have them strongly in Australia. You can see that window behind Maddie, so there's all this vision inside, but you can drive down the street there and not feel imposed. So this architectural type of home fits perfectly with our environment, and you see why Australian architects have been used to using this, plus the whole generation that grew up watching the Brady Bunch, because that home, this mid-century modern, and I drove to the north of LA and got a photo of that house as well. Beautiful texture there with brickwork, which is simply offset brickwork, very simple to achieve, but high texture. And look at these double sets of doors. The colour is there. So I love colour, but basically these homes are all white because they work so well with the strong greenery of that beautiful bush interiors. This is a home we stayed in, and this has been renovated. They opened up that wall but kept the original kitchen and just repainted it. So Therefore, you can see a beautiful tulip table there. And this is the link. This is actually Elvis's house.
Oh.
So Elvis lived here when he met Priscilla. It was the honeymoon house. And you've got this step down in the slab. So the sunken lounge and that link between inside and out. That's my kids there in the spa.
Oh. It's personal.
Yeah, well, we had to satisfy them, so they let me go and take lots of photos. But that linking from inside to out and that flow from coming out.
Slim Aaron.
Yeah,
Is that your mum?
it's exactly Slim Aaron. I love that you know that. So this house is a beautiful home. This is the Kaufman house, and we went through outside. This is built in the middle of the 1940s. That's it from the outside. 1940s. Can you believe it?
Wow.
It looks like it was built yesterday. It's striking architecture. So really simple planes. You know, not planes that go in the sky. And what about this one?
The colour.
That car matches the front
This
door.
is one of the houses that you saw.
Yeah, this is all the homes we saw, and I've got, honestly, another 1,000 photos. So here's the beautiful breakdown of this, and to use it for architectural styles. Minimal aesthetics, so really simple finishes that are used well, clean lines, emphasis on the outdoors, so that space of the linking between inside and outside. Angular structures, so squares, and then simple roof lines, so that A-frame and simple squares and angles. And lots of contrast. It's low use of materials and colours, but strong contrast and lots of texture. And that little one there,
And vast range of colour.
colour. The colour's a lot of fun. Like you girls, will accessorise.
What is a vast range of colour?
As you girls will accessorise with the handbag, it's all in the front door. So a lot of fun. Do you love that?
I do.
Absolutely. There's definitely a reason to visit. And when you go and visit, if people like their architectural styles, visually, you don't all have to get on a plane like I get to do for my job. Google and search the styles that you like. If you buy a home and it's Art Deco, search about all those homes and you'll see such a visual plethora to help you get ideas of how you can use the elements of that style in your own home and in your own renovation, because, you want to maximise your real estate, increase its value, and make a space that you want to live in. I mean, we sell houses, but we all live in homes. It's a really important thing. But it's a beautiful location, so great architecture and how to use it and enjoy it in our homes.
It certainly is.